Gentlemen, welcome back to the Surplus Bunker. Today, Ruger's announced they've released their version of a Generation 3 Glock. Let's take a look at a clip from TFB TV.
Ruger RXM.
It's very exciting, it's very new, and it probably was sent to a bunch of different YouTubers and gun reviewers.
Now, what makes this offering a little more unique than all of the other Generation 3 Glock clones that are on the market? As you likely know, the market is heavily saturated with the Generation 3 Glock because the patent has expired. Now, Ruger has decided to enter the market as well with a pistol that features a modular fire control unit similar to the Sig Sauer P250 or P320 or the Steyr M9. So not exactly a new idea, but it is new to the Glock space. So for that reason, I think it will see quite a bit of appeal, especially as potentially we see the release of new frames, additional aftermarket support, and more offerings from Magpul, who is manufacturing the grip module for this particular pistol. Now, I don't suspect that this pistol will do exceptionally well with established gun owners who likely are well invested into Glocks and other similar striker-fired pistols, but where I expect this pistol to be an incredible commercial success for Ruger will be in the retail front. They have incredible reach that companies like Palmetto State Armory might not have, and they also don't have the brand recognition that Ruger has either, so it's very easy for a retailer who already carries a couple of Rugers to go ahead and put some of these on the shelf as well, as many people will likely be looking for some type of Glock derivative at this point, and they may not have the $500 or $600 if they're not Blue Label program eligible. It's pretty easy for the owner or the proprietor to simply walk them over to the Ruger counter and say, well, take a look at this. This is essentially the same thing. Well, look, it has a nicer trigger. It's already set up with the MOS style cut. So it definitely has some pros. Now, I will say this about any new pistol, and this is something that nobody is really saying yet when discussing this because they received T&E models from Ruger. We can never be critical of the firearm companies. We're not allowed to do it, but any time a pistol has been released in the last 10 or 15 years, there's been problems with it, it seems, especially the ones that are very, very hyped. So pay attention to how much coverage there is about this pistol over the next few days and which channels cover it and how critical they are of the pistol. Now, personally, I think it might be kind of hard for them to screw up a Generation 3 Glock clone, but I have my reservations about Ruger as a brand. I personally view them more as a range toy and a novelty beyond some of their smaller mouse guns like the LCP, which I think is a pretty viable budget gun if you're looking for some type of pocket pistol. But as far as the Glocks go, when you're looking at an initial MSRP launch of their Glock clone at $499, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Why would you just not buy an actual Glock? Now, again, back to the retail end of things, I think you're going to see the price fall well below the $400 range. They've already launched today at some locales or some dealers online at $399. So really not going to break the bank there by any means, and it leaves a little bit of room for you to buy some magazines, ammo, and other accessories, but I'll definitely caution you when it comes to being an early adopter. We've seen a lot of lemons launched in recent years, from the P365 to the P320 to R51. Remember how hyped that was? Those pistols were literally arriving at dealers, and parts were falling off of them. The back sights were falling off, and they were just a mess. They couldn't even put them out on the shelves. So this is just something to be aware of and be wary of when becoming a new adopter of any design from any major manufacturer, especially one that, well, they don't serve the law enforcement or military market. So that's something else to be aware of if the pistol is not carried by professionals, and that's not always the end-all be-all when it comes to pistol or firearm selection, but at least you know it met some type of criteria before it entered service with a military or police department, where a lot of commercial guns, you just don't know enough about them. There's not enough data points to really say that this is a good way to go, unless it's something like the LCP, where there are untold numbers of those in circulation. And generally speaking, everything I know about them is pretty positive. I've shot them. They're a little snappy, of course, because they're a little micro gun, but they generally seem to be pretty reliable. That all being said, why not just buy a police trade-in Glock if your funds are limited? And there's also ways to become eligible for the Blue Label program as well if you're really into the firearm space. And if you are, you likely know how to do that. So anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Do you carry a Ruger? do you really trust them as a brand? I have a lot of reservations after digging into their pistol caliber carbine that they put out recently. It has a lot of problems, a lot of failures to extract, so that's something to be aware of. And I'm curious to see how this Ruger pistol stacks up against the competition. And, that all being said, maybe I'll become an early adopter if you guys are interested, and I'd be willing to put it through its paces here on the channel. It'll take me a while to really have a comprehensive review for you, because I'm not comfortable recommending something to you that you're going to use potentially as a self-defense tool if I don't have some mileage with it. And this is where I have a lot of concern about this new Ruger, is that there's no mileage, and the content you're going to see or surrounding it is just going to be hype videos to get you to run out and go buy it or justify your purchase. Spend your money wisely, guys. I know times are tough right now. Money's tight all around, so it might seem like a good option because you're saving a few bucks on the front, but on the back end, it may cost you a lot more than money. So buy reputable brands, buy reputable products, buy things that have a good track record for self-defense. Thanks for watching.